Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing today? I hope you're having a good Wednesday. Let's wait for a few more people to come in and then we can get started. Elementary to 7th grade students, you're welcome. Every other person is also welcome, but our focus today would be elementary to 7th grade. Please let me know if you have any questions as we walk through our problems today. I'm looking forward to the hour with you. I have some interesting things lined up for today, and we always know that if you have something different, if you have a topic that you want us to look at, I will be willing to put my stuff on hold to accommodate your request. So just let me know what you need, and then I'll be glad to provide that for you. Thank you again for joining the session, and I'm looking forward to the hour with you. I'm going to wait for a few more moments for some more people to trickle in, and then we can get started. All right, thank you all for joining. We're going to get started with our 2nd to 3rd grade students. And I see we already have an answer, so let's wait for a few more people to trickle in and see if we can get some more participation from others, and then we'll be able to get going with our activities for today. So feel free to I encourage you to subscribe to our channel because there are lots of resources on the channel, and hit the bell so that you can get notified whenever there's an update, if there are new videos, or whenever we're about to go live, so you can get that information. And I'm trying to make sure that I update the channel with as many videos as possible, especially when I have these sessions. I think of topics that students have struggled with, and if I don't have a video for that already, I will go ahead and create videos for the session. So thank you for joining, and let's get started with our questions for today. So we're going to have questions for, I believe it's 2nd grade all the way through to about 7th grade, and we're going to have fractions because I've made a commitment to you all that every time we meet on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll have questions on fractions, and then we're going to have 2 puzzles at the end to round up the session. So 2nd and 3rd graders, let's get started with you. So there are 2 vegetables in a garden, 2 different vegetables in a garden. There are 5 rows that have 16 carrot plants in each row, and 6 rows that have 12. Okay, that's an error. It's supposed to be pears. Okay, and we have 6 rows that have 12 pears plants in each row. How many vegetable plants are there in the garden? How many vegetable plants are there in the garden? Okay, let's wait for, I know I have a response already. Let's wait for one or two more responses, and then we'll get started with showing you how to solve this problem. All right, so let's go ahead and just get started with this, and then as people come in, they'll catch up with other questions throughout the session. So there are 2 different vegetables in the garden. We have carrots and we have pears, and we have 5 rows that have 16 carrot plants in each row and 6 rows that have 12 pear plants in each row. How many vegetable plants are there in the garden? So we have 5 rows, and we have 16 carrot plants per row in each row. And then we have 6 rows, and then we have 12, let's say, pear plants in each row. I know there could be a debate on whether pear is a vegetable or a fruit. That's not that important right now. So now I'm going to use, if you have 16 carrot plants in one row, how many are there going to be in 5 rows? You have 2 options. You can keep adding 16 5 times, or you can just multiply 16 by 5. And then for the second one as well, 6 rows, you have 12 pear plants in each row. You can keep adding 12 until you've done it 6 times, or you can multiply 12 by 6. So what I'm going to do here is, because it's for 2nd and 3rd graders, I'm going to use the matrix method to solve this problem. So we have 16 is going to be 10 plus 6, and then we have 5 here. 10 multiplied by 5 is 50. 6 multiplied by 5 is 30. We add this together, we have 80 over here. And then for the pears, we have 12 and 6. So here we have 12 is 10 and 2, and then we have 6. 10 multiplied by 6, we have 60. 2 multiplied by 6, we have 12. We add this together, we have 72. So now we want to find out how many total vegetable plants there are in the garden. All we're going to do is add 80 and 72. So 0 plus 2 is 2, 8 plus 7 is 15. So we have a total of 152 vegetable plants in the garden. Any questions on this? All right, let's go to the next one. Allison has read 120 pages from a 250-page book. Express this as a decimal. 4th graders, 5th graders. Allison has read 120 pages from a 250-page book. Express this as a decimal. So here, in the last session, I showed you how to convert a fraction to a decimal. So let's go ahead and convert this to a decimal. The first thing you want to do here is to make sure that you can write this as a fraction and then go ahead and convert that to a decimal. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you how to do this. So we have the total number. I'm going to first write this as a fraction, because when you are trying to convert to a decimal, it's safe to start as a fraction. And so we're going to have, how many pages do we have altogether? We have 250, so that's going to be our denominator. That is the total number of pages. And then the number of pages read is going to be 120. So now we have 120 divided by 250. So we can easily divide both of them by 10. And so we cross out the zeros. So this is going to give us 12 over 25. And now we're going to convert this to a decimal. 12 divided by 25, we're going to convert that to a decimal. So we're going to first start by we're going to use a long division method. So this is 12, and then you have divided by 25. So 12 divided by 25, how many groups of 25 can you get in 12? There's none, so we're going to put 0, and then we'll put a point here. This is going to allow us to convert to a decimal, so we're going to put a 0 here. This decimal point here allows us to continue to add zeros until we terminate or until you decide to stop. So you have 120 and you divide that by 25. How many groups of 25 in 120? So let's go ahead and multiply 25 by 4. We have 5 multiplied by 4, that's 20. We write 0 here, bring 2 up here. 2 multiplied by 4, 8 plus 2, 10. So that is less than 120. Let's try 25 multiplied by 5. 25 multiplied by 5. So 5 multiplied by 5, we have 25, write 5, bring 2 up here. 2 multiplied by 5, 10 plus 2, we have 12. So 120 is between 100 and 125. So we're going to pick this right here. So it's going to be 4. 4 multiplied by 25 is 100. So we subtract. So we have 20 as a remainder here. Now because of this decimal, we can now introduce another 0. So 200 divided by 25. Let's go ahead and multiply by 8. 5 multiplied by 8, I have 40. So I'm going to write 0 here and bring 4 up here. 2 multiplied by 8, 16 plus 4, 20. So this is going to be 8. So 8 multiplied by 25 is 200. And then we subtract, we're left with a 0. So what we're saying here is now we've converted this fraction to a decimal. So we have 120 divided by 250 is equal to 0.48. So this is going to be 0.48 of the book has been read. Any questions on this? Any questions? If there are any questions, stop me along the way, and then I wouldn't mind going back to re-explain some of these things. So for our 6th and 7th graders, we have this question here. Customers at a grocery store took a survey. 84 customers rated the store as being very unsatisfactory. If this number represented 6% of the total number of customers that took this survey, should be comma here, how many customers took the survey? 6th graders, this is for you. So we have a survey happening at a grocery store. 84 of the customers that took this survey rated the store as very unsatisfactory, and this accounted for 6% of the total number of customers that took the survey. Based on this information, how many customers took this survey? Let's give our 6th and 7th graders an opportunity to give this a try, and then I'll show you how to go about this. So we're looking for how many customers took the survey. Are there any 6th graders here? So I can know whether to move ahead and continue going with other problems. I can actually solve this regardless, so that you can forward to your friends who are in 6th and 7th grade so they can see how to solve problems like this. So if there are no 6th or 7th graders here, then we can go ahead and proceed. Okay, so we have 6%. 6% is actually the same as 6 over 100. So we're saying that 6%, 6 over 100, represents 84 customers, and we don't know we're looking for the total number of customers that took the survey. So I'm going to put X right here. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to cross product right here. So we're going to have 6 multiplied by X is equal to 100 multiplied by 84. We're going to divide both sides by 6 so we can get the value of X. So this is going to cancel out. 84 divided by 6. Let's go ahead and divide this by 2 because it's an even number. We get 3. We divide this by 2. We get 42. We divide this by 3, we get 1. Divide this by 3, we get 14. So x is going to be 100 multiplied by 14. And we're going to multiply the non-zeros first. So 14 multiplied by 1 is 14. And then we add 2 zeros to the end. So we have 1,400 customers. So that's what we have for this question. Are there any questions on this? If there are no questions, we can proceed. Okay, for our second and third graders again, we're looking at perimeter word problems. A rectangular sign has a perimeter of 58 centimeters. The width of the sign is 12 centimeters. What is the length of the rectangular sign? We're looking at perimeter here. We have a rectangular sign. Always start with the formula for your perimeter. Always safe to do that. Okay. I don't think we have second and third graders here today, so let's go ahead and walk through this together. So the perimeter of a rectangle is the sum of all the sides. So it's going to be length plus width plus length plus width, which is going to give us 2 multiplied by length. Actually, let's do that. I think we're skipping a step. So that's what we have for perimeter. So this is the same as length plus width, which is length plus length is 2 of them, 2 of the lengths. Width plus width, we have 2 of the widths. So now we have here, the perimeter is 58. 58 is, we know what the width is, we're trying to find what the length is. The length is unknown, so 2 times L plus 2 multiplied by 12. So 58 is equal to 2L plus 24. And so we know that we can subtract 24 from 58 to get the total sum of all the lengths. So let's subtract 24 here, subtract 24 here, and then we're going to get 34 is equal to 2L. So 2 of our lengths is going to be 34. What is one of the lengths? So we're going to divide both sides by 2 of them. And then we have, I'm going to use the magic 7 method here for third graders. So we have 34. And then we have divided by 2. So I'm going to have 2 multiplied by 10 is going to be 20. So we subtract here and we have 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So we can add these numbers together and we have 17. Because when you multiply 7 by 2, you also have 14. So that's 0. So therefore, 17 is our length. So we'll say the length is equal to 17 centimeters. So that's what we're going to do for that. The next question is for 4th to 5th graders. We have a rope was 15.54 inches long. Ronald cut the rope into 7 pieces of equal length. What is the length of each piece of rope in inches? Most of these questions I actually am sharing with you all, I got from some different state exams for these grades. Just try to diversify this a bit. Make sure it's a little bit different from what I normally have. A rope was 15.54 inches long. Ronald cut the rope into 7 pieces of equal length. What is the length of each piece of rope in inches? So the question here is, what are you going to do here? What operation are you going to do here? We have a rope that is long. It has a specific length, and we're dividing it into 7 different pieces. 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've divided this rope into 7 different pieces, and we're saying that the pieces are equal in length. We want to find out what is the length of each of these pieces. What is the length of each of these pieces? When you are sharing, one of the things to know is when you are sharing, you're sharing here, sharing always is equal to division. So we're going to divide the length of the rope by the number of people that we're sharing it, or the number of pieces that we're dividing the rope into, or we're cutting the rope into. So this is going to give us 15.54 divided by 7. When I'm doing division, I actually like to ignore the decimal. If I have a whole number in the divisor, I just ignore the decimal and just treat it like it's a whole number. It's a regular number or a whole number. So 15 divided by 7. How many groups of 7 in 15? We're going to have 2. 2 multiplied by 7, we have 14. So we subtract and we're left with 1. And then we bring down the 5. 15 divided by 7 again, we have 2. 2 multiplied by 7, we have 14. And then we subtract, we're left with 1 again. And then we bring down the 4. 14 divided by 7, we have 2. 2 multiplied by 7, we have 14. And we subtract, we're left with 0. Now what we're going to do after we've done the division is to look at how many decimal places were in the original question. We can see there were 2 digits after the decimal. So what we're going to do now is make sure there are 2 digits after the decimal in the answer. 1, 2. So this is where our decimal is going to be. And so we're going to say here, each rope is 2.22 inches long. So that's what we're going to do for a problem like this. So I made a commitment to you all that every time we meet, we will be doing some fractions. So I have some fractions. I have addition and division here. So we have some addition and division here. So let's go ahead and try this out. If you're in 3rd through 7th grade, can you just notify that you're here? Can you notify your grades? For those who are online with me, just let me know what grades you're in so that I can tailor this to satisfy your needs or to be more relevant to what you need. Can you just let me know your grades? Very little participation today. I'm sure everyone is tired. Okay, let's go ahead and start adding fractions. So when you add fractions, the most important thing to know is you want to make sure that your denominators are the same. But here's what I'm going to do here. We're going to convert each of these each of these mixed numbers, we're going to convert them to improper fractions first. So 2 1/3 is going to be 2 multiplied by 3, 6 plus 1, that's 7 over 3. And then 3 5/9 is going to be 3 multiplied by 9, 27 plus 5, that's going to be 32 over 9. So now we have 7 over 3 plus 32 over 9. So now we're going to find a way to make sure that both of them have the same denominator. We now need to find the common denominator between 3 and 9, the least common denominator between 3 and 9. This one is quite easy because 9 is a multiple of 3, so you can safely say that 9 is going to be the common denominator. So now we're going to rewrite each of these, we're going to rewrite each of these fractions so that they have a denominator of 9. But for 32 over 9, we don't have to do anything because we already have the desired denominator. So what we're going to do now is 7 over 3. We're going to multiply 3 by 3, multiply 7 by 3. So we now have 21 over 9. So now our fraction is going to look like this: 21 over 9 plus 32 over 9. So now this is going to give us we now have a common denominator, so we can add up the numerators. So 21 plus 32. So this is going to give us 53 over 9 as the sum of these two fractions. And I always encourage you to convert back to a mixed number whenever you can, or if you can. So 53 divided by 9. How many groups of 9 are there in 53? We say 5. 5 multiplied by 9, we have 45. When you subtract this, you have 8. So this is going to give us 5 is our dividend, is our quotient rather. 8 is our remainder, and 9 is our divisor. So we're dividing 8 by 9. So there are 5 groups of, so what this simply means is there are 5 groups of 9 in 53, and we have a remainder of 8. All right, so now let's go ahead and try the division. We're going to convert with division and multiplication. You always have to convert your mixed numbers to improper fractions, and you don't have to have the same denominator for them to work. So let's go ahead and convert 5 to 5th. 5 2 over 5 is going to be 5 multiplied by 5, 25 plus 2. We have 27 over 5. And then 1 2/3 is going to be 1 multiplied by 3, 3 plus 2, 5 over 3. So now we have 27 over 5 divided by 5 over 3. So now we're going to, for us to be able to solve this, we're going to leave 27 over 5 the same way it is, and then we're going to change the division to a multiplication, and then switch the position of the numerator and the denominator. So 5 becomes the denominator, 3 becomes your numerator. So this is going to be 3 over 5. So now we have 27 multiplied by 3, we have 81. 5 multiplied by 5, we have 25. So we're going to convert this to a mixed number. So 81 divided by 25. How many groups of 25 do you have in 81? That should give you 3. 3 multiplied by 25, we have 75. We subtract, you're going to get 6. So this is the same as 3 whole number, 6 over 25. So what this simply means is that when you divide 81 by 25, you have 3 groups of 25 in 81 and a remainder of 6. So that's what this represents. Okay, so we're going to order of operations, 5th to 7th graders, order of operations. Let me know if there are any 5th to 7th graders here, 5th, 6th, and 7th graders here. Let me know, just indicate, and then I'll know how to proceed. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this up. So when you have an order of operation, so we're trying to figure out how should we go about solving this question. We have PEMDAS, that's our gold standard. That's what we do all the time whenever you have order of operation. So here, P stands for parentheses, so we don't have any there. E stands for exponents, so that is this right here, 6 to the power of 3. So let's go ahead and figure what that is. 6 to the power of 3 is 6 multiplied by 6 multiplied by 6. which is 36 multiplied by 6. And when you do that, let's go ahead and 36 multiplied by 6. 6 multiplied by 6 is 36. We write 6 here, bring 3 up here. 3 multiplied by 6, 18 plus 3, we have 21. So this is going to be 216. So now we're going to continue by rewriting this expression here so that we have 6 to the power of 3 replaced by 216. So now we have 216 minus 87 multiplied by 2 plus 10. So now we get back to our PEMDAS again. So PEMDAS exponent, we don't have any multiplication. We have that right here. So we'll go ahead and 87 multiplied by 2. 7 multiplied by 2 is 14. We write 4, bring 1 up here. 8 multiplied by 2, 16 plus 1, 17. So this is going to be, we're going to replace 87 multiplied by 2 with 174. So 216 minus 174 plus 10. So now we're going to subtract. We're going to deal with the expression we have here. So here we have addition and subtraction. Always remember, addition and subtraction have the same order. So that means that one doesn't come before the other necessarily. The only time they come before the other is if is their position in the question. So here, whenever you have operations that are on the same level, you start from your left to the right and you deal with them. You start computing them or solving them from your left to your right. So now we're going to have 216 minus 174. Let's go ahead and do that. 6 minus 4, we have 2. 1 minus 7, we can't do that. So we borrow 1 from here. 1 is left over here. The 1 that we borrow becomes 10. We add it to 1, it becomes 11. 11 minus 7, we have 4. So this is going to give us 42 plus 10. So we now add 10 to that. 2 plus 0, 2, 4 plus 1, 5. So this is going to be, it's just a good habit, this is going to give us 52. So when you solve this, when you simplify this, you're going to get 52. Okay, so let's see if we have, I believe we have one more question here. Okay, this is a probability what problem? 6th and 7th graders. A lot of what I did for today's session was I looked at some of the Texas state exams. I know there are no exams this school year, the state exams, because of the pandemic, the coronavirus. So I just decided to pick a few problems from different years and just try to have something that is in line with what you may be studying in school. So I think this one is from the 2017 6th grade exam. So this is on probability. Amanda has a bag of marbles. The bag contains 8 red balls or 8 red marbles, 7 green marbles, 11 yellow marbles, 9 purple marbles, and 5 white balls. You know, to me they're all kind of similar round objects. What is the probability of selecting a green or purple ball? What is the probability of selecting a green or a purple ball? We can call these balls if you want. To me, they are round spherical. They're spherical objects, so that's fine. So what do we have here? The probability of selecting a green or purple ball. Anyone want to try this? Anybody want to try this so I can show you what to do, and then we can have our quizzes, our puzzles for the day, and call it a day. Are there any 6th or 7th graders here today? Okay, so let's go ahead and attempt this together. So we have 8 red balls, 7 green balls, 11 yellow balls, 9 purple balls, and 5 white balls. When you're looking at probability, you're looking for probability simply means what is the chance that this event happens? What is the likelihood that this event we're talking about is going to happen? So what is the probability of selecting a green or purple ball? The first thing you want to do is find out how many balls do we have all together. So let's find out how many balls we have. Total number of balls. We're going to have 8. We're going to ignore the color, so we're just going to find out how many balls are there all together. 8 plus 7 plus 11 plus 9 plus 5. 8 plus 7 is 15. Then we have 15 plus 11. And then 9 plus 5 is 14. Alright, so 15 plus 11, let's go ahead and do it this way. 15 plus 11, 5 plus 1, 6, 1 plus 1, 2. And then we add 14 to that. So we have 6 plus 4 is 10, 0, bring 1 up here. 1 plus 2, 3 plus 1, we have 4. So this is 40. So we have 40 balls all together. Now we want to find out what is the probability of selecting a green ball or a purple ball. Now I'm going to write this here. Probability of green or purple. These are some rules that you need to know. This is going to be the probability of getting a green ball plus probability of a purple ball. Okay, so now how would your probability work? Let's find out how many green balls do we have. We have 7 green balls. So your probability, you can only select 7 out of if you pick a ball, only 7 out of the 40 of them are green. And then for your purple balls, you have 9. So you have only a chance of picking one of 9 out of 40. So now we're going to add this together and we have 16 over 40. Remember, when you're adding fractions, when the denominators are the same, you can always add the numerators. So now we're going to convert 16 over 40 to, we're going to simplify this fraction. We can divide this by, let's say, 2. This is going to give us 8 over 20. Divide again by 2. We're going to get 4 over 10, and then we can divide by 2 again. This is going to give us 2 over 5. So the probability of selecting a green or a purple ball in this case is 2 over 5. So that's all I have in terms of the questions, and then we'll go to our puzzles. Are there any questions that you all think that you want me to cover? We have some time left. If there are any topics you're going through in school, I know some schools for some schools you're not going back to school this school year, so I want to use this as an opportunity to help you out with some of the topics that you may be going through, because when you go to the next grade, I'm not sure they're going to make accommodation for the fact that you did not learn a lot of things. You did not get classroom instruction for a lot of topics this school year. So this is a good chance for you to be able to ask any questions. If I don't have an answer for you because the question requires more explaining, we can do that next time. But please ask as many questions as you need to, just to help you so that you can be successful in what you're doing at school. All right, so now we have our puzzles. I have 2 puzzles for you. So we have this mathematical equation here. So we're solving this sum. We have a sum here. We want to find the values of A, B, and C that form a number, and we want to find out what the number would be if we wrote them together. If we wrote A, B, and C together, what would A, B, C be? So we need to find the values of A, B, and C. This I think should be pretty simple, and I chose this one because I know it's a younger audience, so I have most likely about 5 to 6 year olds all the way through about 12 or 13. So I try to choose something that is age appropriate. So let's take a look at this one. It's easy. I'll give you about a minute and see if I'm going to get some responses. If I get some responses, then I'll give some more time to get some more responses. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and show you how to think about topics like this, or rather to think about puzzles that look like this. So I'll give you a few moments to think through it. If you want to tell us what your answers are, I'll be glad to hear your answers. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's take a stab at this. So I have one, we're trying to add these two numbers together. So I have 1 here and I have C that's going to give me 7. So what am I going to add to 1 to get 7? So I'm going to add 6. So I'm going to put a 6 right here. And then ideally, this should also be a 6. So let's see whether that works. And then what I have here, B plus 5 is 4. So because I'm going to just make a good assumption that we're going to be carrying over. So what am I going to add? So I'm going to make an assumption that this actually is 14. What am I going to add to 5 to get 14? It's going to give me 9. Okay, so let's see. 9 plus 5 is 14. So I'm going to put a 1 up here. So, and this is going to be 6. So this represents 16 because 5 plus 1 is 6. So we can see that we're carrying over 1 from this side right here that has A up here. So this is 16. 16 minus 7. So 16 minus 7 is what? 9. So 9, we have 1 here. So it's going to be 1 plus 8. So let's put an 8 over here. 1 plus 8 plus 7 is 16. And then here we're saying that A should be 8. So let's go ahead. This is 8. So let's rewrite the numbers with our assumptions here. So we have 8, 5, 8, 9, 1 plus 2, 1, 7, 5, 6. Let's see if we're supposed to get 107, 647. So let's go ahead and add this and see what we get. 1 plus 6 is 7. 9 plus 5 is 14. We write 4 and we bring 1 up here. 1 plus 8 is 9 plus 7, 16. We write 6, bring 1 up here. 1 plus 5, 6 plus 1, 7. 8 plus 2, we have 10. So you can see here that A is equal to 8. B is equal to 9. C is equal to 6. So our number here is going to be 896. So that's really what this one is testing. So this isn't too difficult, it's not too complicated. And then finally, our last puzzle for the day. This one is also pretty simple. All right, anybody want to attempt this? So let's see. Today's a quiet day for a lot of the audience. So let's go ahead and walk through this. So we have, I can say these are 3 apples here or something. 3 fruits, red fruits. It could be apple, it could be something else. So there are 3 of them and they all add up to 18. So I'm going to say that each of them is going to be 6, 6, 6 here and then 6 here. And then so I have 6 right here and then I have 2 bunches of bananas. So each of them they're going to add up to 8. So each of them is going to be 4 and 4. And now I have 4 here. What do I subtract from 4 to get 2? This is going to be 2. And then finally, at the end, we have some cherries here. So that's going to give us 2. And then we have apple, that's going to give us 6. And then we have bananas. Let's pay attention to the bananas. Here we have 4 bananas in a bunch, equal to 4 points. So 3 bananas will be equal to 3 points. So now we're going to add 2, 6, and 3. 2 plus 6, 8, plus 3, 11. So our missing number is 11. That's all I have prepared for today. If there are any other topics that you want me to take a look at with you, I'll be glad to do that. Otherwise, we'll meet again. This group will meet again on Friday with the other group, which is the 8th to 12th graders. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining the session today, and I look forward to hanging out with you again on Friday. Be blessed. Thanks and bye for now.